You're afraid. Don't be. To reach your own paradise. Just let go. What you're imagining right now, you control this world.
I'm so happy I have seen this movie. I'm happy that I can come back and talk about it, because now I can tell all you fucking geeks and 13-year-old boys and all you nerds in between, it sucks, okay? Leave me the fuck alone. I've had so many people say, when you gonna see Sucker Punch? When you gonna see Sucker Punch? You know what? Take the punch out of it. Just sucker, all right? 'Cause that's what happened to me.
It's more like Donkey Punch.
Yeah,
It fucks you
exactly.
in the ass and then bashes you in the back of the head as you're leaving the theater.
Were you guys sitting there when it was all done going, "Ee-aw"?
You should have been called Dirty Sanchez. Zack Snyder stuck his fingers up my ass and wiped shit all over my face with this.
Right now, there's going to be spill slash fit.
It'd be better than what we saw. Listen,
Tell the plot. What was the damn plot? of this
okay.
movie?
What's the plot? Because you guys,
Wow.
you guys are those jaded film critics. You tell me.
Plot. That's interesting. You should ask about this thing called plot. You know, so let me tell you something about a plot. I don't think Zack Snyder knows what that is, because this movie, now they do try to have, and I'm going to tell you, this movie reminds me of something that happens to a lot of directors when they get too much goddamn money and get too much clout. Because this is Zack Snyder's fantasy world that he had when he was probably 13 years old himself.
Fifth Element.
Yeah. Oh, you onto something there. Let me tell you what this movie's about. Okay. And you can tell that this is something that he had in mind when he was a kid. This movie centers on a young girl who's, about 20 years old or so, but she lives with a wicked, evil stepdad who she just gets tired of one day and means to take her aggression out on him.
No. You missed the beginning. You missed the first 5 minutes.
Did I miss the very first part? Thank God.
What happened was her mom died. Right, and this is all without dialogue. You have to piece this together over the strains of a really obnoxious cover song
it's a
played
Disney
super
movie.
loud.
The mom's dead.
So mom has just died. We never get to see her alive at all, pretty much. And the father discovers that in her will, the stepfather, that she left everything to her 2 daughters. That he gets nothing, and he's like roaring and screaming.
Oh, okay, I did miss that part. I was taking a piss.
For reasons that are not clear, he decides to start raping the younger girl. Right? Okay, this is not Disney at this point.
What do you mean for reasons that are unclear?
Well,
he didn't
no,
get no
how
money.
does
He
that
gonna get some ass out of that.
Okay, well, I assumed he was just going to try and kill her to
I'm gonna
get the
get
money.
something.
Well, I thought he was just going to try and get the money, but that doesn't help him get the money. He just gets ass, right? So anyway, he's like,
He was going to spend the money on ass.
I know, right? He's getting ready to rape the girl, and the older sister, who's the actress who plays her?
It is Emily Browning.
Yeah.
She was from that movie. What was the movie with Jim Carrey? The Unlucky Misfortunes or something like that.
Huh?
A series of unfortunate events.
Yeah, she's the young girl from that. And like at the time, you're looking at her and you're like, man, I feel bad because that girl's going to be hot. Guess what? She is.
She is hot. There's no question about that.
Yes.
But she's like, okay, this is unacceptable. So she ends up finding a gun and she tries to shoot her dad and she misses and accidentally kills her own sister.
Boom,
now,
boom,
the
boom.
stepdad finds a way to go like, oh, see, I found my window. So he goes, man, this bitch went crazy when her mom died. She killed her sister and you should put her away in the mental institution. Institution, So you're like, right off the bat, you're like, wow, everybody's a douche. In fact, you find out very quickly, not only is that enough, that's not bad enough, right? But the dad has signed a deal with a orderly there who's going to forge the signature of the head psychological person there. So she gets a lobotomy almost immediately.
They put it in the Francis Farmer Ward.
They did. They put her in the Francis Farmer Ward.
It's a win-win for everybody. She doesn't talk, can't get him in trouble, and he gets a couple of grand out of it. So,
Now, here's where it gets really weird. This is all in the first 10 minutes or so of the film,
Okay,
right?
so it sounds very Natural Born Killers.
Except with almost no dialogue and lots of annoying music. All right, so we get to see John Hamm in a flash moving towards her eye with the big lobotomy needle, and all of a sudden,
Wait, was it like the Three Stooges 3D movie where the needle comes right at you in the screen?
No, it was nothing like that. Basically, what happens at this point, this is where the fantasy kicks in because she's brought to the institution. She's about to be lobotomized now they tell you in the trailer, in order to escape this harsh reality that she is
she
goes into a
showgirls.
She goes into an alternate reality.
Okay.
Now, at this
I was going to say Brazil, but okay.
Well, at this institution, what happens is she imagines all of the institution to be a burlesque venue. Yeah. Now, there, the girls dance for this sleazy guy, and for this woman who's some Polish woman who's done very badly by what's her name,
Carla
Gugino. Yeah.
Now that's not enough for her to go into like that. reality is like, okay, I got to go deeper than that. So when she's shy, when she's asked to dance, from that point on, her dance routine turns into her going into a trance and flipping the fuck out and going into a video game cutscene.
Yeah.
And it makes me think that, maybe they can't make a good video game movie, because even movies that aren't video games but take on video game type stories kind of suck too, because that's what the whole reason why she's going back into these fantasies is not only because of her dance routine, but she's on a quest to receive 5 items from these magical lands.
Does she have to jump through rings or punch people and turn them into coins?
You know what? At this point, why not? Why not jump on a turtle and have it turn into a big coin?
Got to save Princess Daisy or something.
Yeah, she has to go after a map, a lighter,
a knife, and a key. And then one other yet to be named
Let's
item,
see.
Which is like, could not be more obvious.
It turns out that she needs to collect these items so that she can escape the institution that exists in the real world and also help the audience get the fuck out this movie a little bit faster.
So, the first thing we need is a map to figure out where all the exits are. Second thing we need is something to start a fire with as a distraction for when we escape. Plus, the fire should disable all the checkpoints. And the third thing is a knife, in case we run into any trouble. The cook. We can do it. Okay? And the last thing's a key.
Blue wears a key around his neck.
What door does it open?
It's for all of them, I think. It's a master key. I'm in. So am I.
Me too.
All right. But I'm only doing this because you guys get caught without me, okay? And if it gets too hairy, if I say it's over, we stop.
We do joke around about, hey, man, I wish I had the controller. I wish I could control what was going on the screen.
It's like when normally you had to clap your hands to save Tinkerbell. Here you have to press X, square, square, triangle, X, left, right, shoulder button.
You know what you do? Here's what would make the movie so much better. Just go to the theater with a controller in your hand. Go to your PS3 or Xbox controller and just sit there and act like it's a 2-hour cutscene and just wait. And it's like, wow, that was the longest fucking cutscene I've ever seen. Apparently, none of these chicks can ever get to the level, though, where they find the script or the good directors.
And there's no nude code. Let me just settle that for you right now.
Oh, yeah. I think this is PG-13, right? Yeah, of course. So, yeah. And so, let me put it this way. You get 3 bad movies in one. It's a real bargain here because...
So it's like Australia.
Yeah, well...
It's Zack Snyder's Inception, which right there you go, anyone who ever compared the level of intelligence of him and Christopher Nolan, you fail.
Oh, yeah, no. Because what we got here are 3 different scenarios that she goes into. You've seen snips of them in the trailer. There's sort of an anime mutant samurai thing she goes into.
Yes.
Then she goes into... World War II Nazi zombie fantasy, and then finally she goes into a sci-fi robot on a train strapped with a bomb thing too. You're looking crazy right now, and it's as weird and shitty as you think it sounds. It's weirder and shittier when you see it in the movie.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense is the problem. And even worse, like I said earlier, there's no consequences to any of that. So great, you're watching these guys constantly doing Zack Snyderisms. I mean, literally, it's like slow motion every other second.
Slow-mo, speed up, slow-mo.
And anytime a shot is fired, the camera just goes woo and like spin around so you can see like a 360 shot of it. And if you do this every once in a while, okay, but it's fucking stop through these sequences.
Yeah.
And like, who cares if somebody dies or not in them? Because when you flash back to, reality level 2, the middle level, they're not dead. It's just a fantasy going on in her head,
Well, the problem is that when she goes into these alternate realities, while they do look cool, they just make no sense.
No.
And that is where any lack of tension or any lack of danger comes in, because it is just meant to be for show. It is like everything that Zack Snyder thought was cool, spit it out there on the screen, and that's it. When they come back to this other reality, it's like, you don't even know what the fuck was happening. It's like, what was her dance routine like? What danger was there to begin with?
I really actually was much more interested in seeing the dance routine. I mean, I admit, I hate to bring Inception to it again, but when I see this girl, I think we need to go deeper is the first thing I think. But, she's doing this and she starts off each dance just by kind of swaying from side to side, like she has no idea how to dance. And then they come back from it and everyone's crying and they're applauding and they've got huge hard-ons and you're just like, Jesus Christ, what is this, the dance of the 7 veils? I want to see the dance. What's funny is Zack Snyder said, well, this movie is supposed to be empowering to women, so I didn't want to actually show her doing an erotic dance. It's like, what, you mean the same movie where you just in the flashbacks showed her panties like 80 times?
Now it sounds like Electrolux all over again. I swear, okay, I don't want to be the spoiler because I haven't seen it, but it sounds like this is going to end up being just some girl with Asperger's playing a PlayStation 3.
Well, listen. Now, we mentioned this a little earlier, that this is something that happens to a director once they are able to, like, say, okay, this is the project I wanted to do since I was a child. We've seen, now, I didn't even think about what you said. What's the director's name? Fifth Element?
Luc Besson.
Luc Besson. He did it with the Fifth Element.
Yeah.
Got off pretty scot-free with that. People still like the movie.
I love
There's
Fifth
still
Element.
plenty of people who love that movie. I'm not one of them, but hey, more power to you.
It's not insane like that movie is.
Right.
No, and then Carlisle was talking about it's Southland Tales, because that was a huge vanity project.
Yes.
For Richard, what's his name?
What's the guy? Donnie Darko guy?
Donnie Darko guy. You know what I'm talking about. The director of Donnie Darko.
Yeah, but this is
Richard Kelly.
Richard Kelly.
I would compare it more to Southland Tales, but even so, that's not a fair
But
comparison.
no, what I was thinking of, when I was watching this the whole time, I was thinking, oh my God, this is Lady in the Water all over again.
Oh, shit.
Because this is a guy
Okay,
who
that's
said,
another
you know
one.
what, this is the fantasy tale that I've been wanting to tell for a long time. I can get a lot of money to finally make it come to vision. And, well, shit, I'm fucking Zack Snyder. Everybody's going to love this. People love me. And he makes it, and it makes no fucking sense to anybody but him.
I honestly can't stand this when these directors make a movie and you can tell there's no real consideration of the audience that's going to watch it. It's so like, I love this. My friends I've talked to about this love this. We're just going to do it for us and put it out there. And it's like, hey, if that's the case, then just show it to your group of friends.
See, I wish I could say that was what was going on, but I don't think it was. I think the problem is that if it had been merely gratuitous, I wouldn't have hated it as much as it is. But it's pretentious about it. It has like these layers of story, and the way it all ends up being, it's like, oh, we're telling you this dark fairy tale that you're supposed to take away this message from, and yet it's just so tacked on. It's such utter bullshit to even say the things they do towards the end. I mean, there's even like these considerations, like, okay, so what are you saying? Like that middle reality maybe was part of this bigger, larger reality, because some of the characters who were not having these hallucinatory dreams start seeing the characters in the dreams outside of the place. You're like, wait, so what does that mean, Zack Snyder, except that you don't have a fucking clue what you're doing?
Cyrus, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.
And that's okay. We haven't mentioned Scott Glenn.
No, I was about to say Scott Glenn he plays
David Carradine.
He plays a sensei or some sort of a manifestation leader role in every one of her fantasies. But the thing is, he says some of the dumbest shit in every one of them. I mean, everything ends with him yelling even a fortune cookie would look at him and be like, "What the fuck was that?" One thing he ends with is like, and by the way, you ever heard the saying, don't let your mouth write a check that your ass can't cash?
Sure.
He finds a way to like fuck that up in the biggest way.
Yeah.
Don't make a check out that your mouth can't write money for if you decide to deposit it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I
Even
think
the
he's quoting George Bush at that point.
Yeah. Even the girls, you think, are kind of looking at each other like, what the fuck is with this guy? I mean, because it's like one thing if you had an aphorism to share that in any mild way had something to do with the situation. But he's like, okay, girls, you're going to go and you're going to hit this train. You got to disable a bomb before it hits the city. And don't forget, a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Choose your friends. Don't let them choose you.
For real. Really? Okay. All right. I remember that, you fucking fool. No,
Before
man.
you go, a stitch in time will save 9.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Don't take any wooden nickels.
Yeah. No, this movie is if you took crack, cocaine, steroids, heroin, mixed it all up in a needle and shot up every one of the Sailor Moon girls with it. They would lose their fucking minds, and this would be this fucking film right here. Because the movie, you have Emily Browning, but you also have Abby Cornish, which we just saw as being the girlfriend in Limitless.
Right.
And then, of course, we have
Vanessa Hudgens. Fresh off of Beastly.
Fresh off, she needs this bad. Guess what? You are not on a winning streak right now. And then you have Jenna Malone, who I think she has sort of an everyday, like, good-looking girl.
Yeah.
Look at her.
I always liked her,
She's
yeah.
fucking hot. And you have of course, you got to have that Asian chick for, that's the trend right now.
Yeah.
All the hipsters love having an Asian chick, so you
true.
got to have a hot one in there.
Hipsters, hell, who doesn't love having an Asian chick, especially Asian chick with big tits?
Oh,
like
hey, man,
that.
I got 2 in the closet back there. Nobody asked y'all to come out.
I will take as many as you have. Right now, here's my credit card.
I only got 2, brother.
Oh, sorry, I'm not Zack Snyder.
Sorry, you're gonna have to get your own. And then, Jamie Chung is the token Asian chick here. And listen, they all are very good in the movie with what they have to work with. You can tell that Zack Snyder wants this to be some sort of geek feminist film. He wants these girls to be like the strong force of freedom for whatever the fuck is going on here. And you look at them, you like think, man, I wish that they were given more, because these girls all together, you got some people, like I said, Vanessa Hudgens is struggling. She needs a hit. And there's a moment in the movie where she's crying, and you can tell she's crying like, please don't fuck this up for me. Please let this be good. All these girls are like, they actually have a good sisterhood going on. There's a sisterhood of kick-ass girls. It's just too bad that this movie doesn't really offer them much to do except play against a bunch of CG, animals, monsters, and backgrounds.
And like I said, the empowering chicks thing is so insulting. It's like a guy director making an empowering chicks movie about a bunch of hookers who wear lingerie in the whole film and can do kung fu while showing crotch shots. You're like, how is that empowering to women?
You don't empower women by making them whores. I'm sorry.
You just don't.
You don't.
Yeah.
I mean, despite whatever Frank Miller says or Gutierrez, the guy who does Electrolux and all those stupid ass movies, no, that's not the way you do that.
No, this is the vision that, pure nerds, this is what they first learn to jack off to when they start touching themselves. It's not enough to have just a woman. No, I got to have a woman pick me up in a robot with a rocket launcher and a jetpack.
Dude, a few months ago, I went back and found some of my old sketchbooks from high school, and it had they were embarrassing. How much that kind of shit I had filling those sketchbooks. I'm like, wow, no one can ever see these.
This is like the realm of pure, unadulterated 13-year-old nerd chaos. You just go, nothing makes sense. It's just images floating. There's a set of boobies merging with a dragon, and over there's Sailor Moon.
You're gonna publish a book of all the sketches and art you did for this? It's like, no, because they're all stuck together.
Yeah, no. For a 13-year-old boy,
draw my own porn. Shit,
girl is hot. 13-year-old boy got a massive heart on when he sees a naked girl put in armor, he's about to explode. Put a dragon behind her shooting a machine gun, dick is just gone. This is like
blew up.
Yeah, this and it's just like kiss your ass goodbye. You ain't got no more dick after seeing this movie. That's who this movie is. That's what this movie's for, man. This movie is for those kids who are just coming into their own and don't realize how stupid this is going to be in 20 years from now. They look at this and like, oh, this is everything I love. Hot girls. Hot pants on girls, ass huggers. This
samurai swords, robots, dinosaurs,
robots. This is you take like it's a Playboy combined with a video game. This is my heaven right here.
It's a geek kitchen sink film. It's like everything they could think of to throw in there, but just all mashed together in ways that make no sense and are, quite frankly, unsettling to see together. I mean, even in the first like sort of hallucination she's having where she fights like 2 giant samurai, and like the second one, for reasons that make no sense at all, has a rail gun. Why would a samurai have a rail gun?
That's right. I forgot about that.
I don't even understand that. That doesn't make sense.
Well, at this point, like they're made out of stone, they're 20 feet high, and they got glowing red eyes. Why not?
I know. I realize that's nitpicking, but it's just like one of a.
Why would he have a rail gun?
It's just one of a billion
things.
A rail gun? Yeah, exactly. It feels like that's how they plotted the film. They're like, but can you explain to me why he wouldn't?
Yeah.
No, just shut up.
Yeah, this is one of those movies you could actually.
Jesus, I just don't even want to argue with you anymore, Zach. Good.
I win.
Is that a
winning?
Point? That fool's got tiger's blood right there. Man, it's one thing to look at something and say, I could look at this because I really do think that the critics that are going to come down on this, had it been dubbed in French, I'll come from France, people be like, oh, it's a wonderful visual tour de force.
You know what? Honestly, Corey, people have even gotten tired. They've gotten past that. Like with Vin Diesel and what was that movie he did? Babylon 2000?
Babylon AD.
Babylon.
Babylon
AD?
AD, yeah.
Yeah, I think like that was one where you're like, you know what, we're not falling for this anymore.
Yeah, no, this
same
reminds me
old,
of heavy
same old.
metal. No,
Yeah.
we're not doing that anymore. And you could say that. Look, this could be some big just visual homage to all just, the most basic parts of heavy metal magazine, but it has Vanity Project written all over it. It's just it's just the huge ego that you can feel coming out from behind the movie that is what makes it so infuriating to watch sometimes. It's like, this is just, really, for lack of a better word, it's just stupid. It really is. It's just
Okay. Now here's what I want to know, because I know that you put a lot of research and planning into your reviews ahead of time. A lot of time you'll have a whole list of points you want to bring up, and you analyze. You take the good and the bad, even
Yes.
the movies you really hate. Now, what I want to hear is that
Take
part,
them both, and then you have the facts of life.
Yeah, I want to hear the part where you defend the things about this movie that you liked, because
Okay.
I had a hard time coming up
What?
with anything.
Was it visually stunning?
Well, I did come up. I already. Yeah. Well, no. I came up with. I do have a couple of things. One I already said. Your actors in this movie. And I already mentioned all the girls. I mean, there are people in here who are giving it their all, and they're giving a good performance. And there's a guy in here, Oscar Isaac, who you never really heard of before. The last time I saw him in a movie was on a plane in this movie called Argus. I think that's never even been released.
Yeah.
And he's playing the role kind of sleazy, but I was thinking for a newcomer, this guy has some sort of screen presence. He plays two different roles in the movie. He plays the warden at the institution. He also plays the sleazy boss of the fantasy burlesque club.
Okay.
And which, by the way, it's embarrassing because when he comes on, it's not enough for him to have a sleazy personality. They have to paint a pencil thin mustache on him too, and put and also put rouge on his cheeks. So it's like,
He
Jesus
doesn't wear
Christ.
a monocle, does he?
He should. He's damn near close to it. They should have twirled that mustache at the end. The other thing is, I did like the visuals, and I'm giving the visuals credit because of not Zack Snyder, but because of the visual artists behind them. Now, I don't know who the effects house that did this, and I'm sure somebody's going to swoop in and correct us on this or tell us what it is. But yeah, the effects are very cool when you see it.
My whole thing about it was that, and I understand that they looked relatively realistic. You're like, okay, they obviously spent a lot of money on this. But then you're admiring, they can do that now, rather than any actual creativity. And I didn't feel that there was a lot of honest to God creativity in them. I'm going, yeah, it's like somebody who's on drugs, who likes to watch anime all day and play Dungeons and Dragons and video games and is just going, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. And yet there's nothing about it that feels original or is that striking or that you go, wow, I've never seen anything like that happen in film before.
You are right. I mean, listen, it's at the point now. A dumb chick can only be pretty for so long before she's not interesting anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She's
true.
great to look at, but after a while, if she ain't got shit to say, you don't want to have anything to do with it. And that's what this movie is. It's a dumb bitch. It's a dumb, pretty chick. And I understand what you're talking about.
Corey is obviously not trying to do anything for women either.
No, I'm not. Hey, at least I didn't spend like $150 million and make a fucking, movie about chicks running around their panties with robots. But,
when you just say it like that, it actually sounds pretty good.
That sounds good.
Yeah. Where did this go wrong? But you're right. Listen, we are at the age now. The comparison I'm trying to make here is that we've seen it all right? We know, you're right. We know that CG effects can make anything look real. Everything that we've seen in this movie, we've seen a Super Bowl commercial. We've seen a video game cutscene of it. We've seen a short film on the internet that somebody kicked ass with and did that. I mean, there's nothing here to impress us just by visuals alone. And people are soon going to have to realize that. Now, all of this could have been cool had there been some sort of story behind it. Paul is an amazing effect, but Paul wouldn't have been shit if Paul didn't have a personality. I'm talking about the Alien movie that just came out. Yeah, we're not back
we
when
thought you were
Jurassic.
just talking about some guy named Paul.
Paul, man, Paul. Y'all know Paul, right?
I know Paul.
Yeah,
Shit, I love that guy.
Paul owed me money, man, but he's still cool. No, we're not back when Jurassic Park came out. We're like, oh my God, dinosaurs came to life.
We'd never seen anything like that at that point. That was groundbreaking.
No.
Plain and simple. This is not groundbreaking.
Yeah, it sounds like all it does, every time we talk about it, we're just referencing other things. It sounds like it's just a big movie that references or rips off other shit. without one single original idea.
Oh, it is. It's like I said, it's this guy, Zack Snyder looking at everything that he probably loves being a visual director. Now, and visually, I think he is a good director. I'm worried about Superman right now, but the people, this is who's directing Superman, the next Superman movie. But visually, I'm like, if somebody can rein this guy in, if they have a good script, and Christopher Nolan is there to slap him across his fucking head a few times, like, no, we're not doing that. It could really be a great film, visually and script-wise, as long as they bring it all together. He's a great visual director, but let loose to his own devices, like I said, he's just vomiting shit on the screen. Oh, and let's not forget about the medieval Dragon Slayer, Lord of the Rings tribute section, which combined with all the other sections only relate to the story for the simple reason of, hey, that looks cool. Seriously, if a nerdy middle school boy's brain could ejaculate all over a movie screen, this is what it would look like. Look at it. He loves the girls. He loves anime. He loves video games.
Yeah.
He loves fantasy. He
I would
loves
say
sci-fi.
even he's clearly a Moulin Rouge fan, because I felt there was a lot of elements he was trying to copy directly from Moulin Rouge, and instead he ended up with Showgirls.
And and that's my other problem with the movie is that he was right. The first 10 minutes of the movie, it's all told in slow motion, but throughout the film, they continue to bring in these remixes of songs.
Yeah.
So what you're getting in effect is not only like a video game movie, an anime movie, but the most
awful cover songs.
Awful. The most the biggest complaint we had about special effects films is that it's a long music video.
Yeah.
And I'm really pissed off because some of these songs I like, some of them I don't, but I'm really pissed that they took one of my favorite Bjork songs.
Oh, I know. And
which is Army of Me, and put it in there. And
that's her best song. And I was like, don't put this song in this movie. But, even worse than that is later, I'm a huge old school Iggy Pop fan, and they do the worst cover you've ever heard of Search and Destroy, which is one of the greatest rock and roll songs of all time, and done by a girl band. And you're like, please stop. No, take it back.
What about the Pixies?
I know. God.
They bring in all these bad remixes of like classic songs, man, and you're just like,
what were they thinking?
Speaking of all these contemporary songs, it even makes the movie seem more like a mess because these songs combined with the contemporary imagery in her fantasies, like the anime robots, and the sci-fi, it doesn't seem to mesh well with all of the other iconography in the film. Things like cars and radios that indicate that this movie was probably set somewhere in the 50s. Now, under a better script, that could have been a stylistic thing that would work, but not here.
And I wish I could even be as defensive as you are of some of the things, because I didn't even like that actor you're talking about. I thought he played it way too over the top.
And you know what he did? I just think that the guy has potential, but his role in this movie, terrible.
The only good thing I can think to say about this at all, really, is that, I admit, the lead girl and some of the other girls in it, they are sexy women. That is not a praise of the film. It's a praise of them as sexy women. Sure, but I can go see other films that they're in, luckily.
Applaud their personal trainers.
Or go on the internet. Or just hire Leon to draw pictures of them and nude poses for me.
Carla Gugino, I have to say, though, was terrible.
Yeah, I saw a clip with her, and she seemed to be. She's become that person where she's in a movie. I go, oh shit, this is not going to be good.
Well, she's not bad. It's just they have her in there with a bad Polish accent, which sounds like a bad Russian accent.
Right. She should be hunting moose and squirrel.
Moose and squirrel. Yeah, and her character is ridiculous. She's there. It's a mental institution where girls wear mini skirts and they have a dance instructor there. It's like, no wonder these fucking chicks are crazy.
Well, I suppose they must have asked me, like, hey, if you were to run a mental institution for hot chicks, what would you do? Like, well, sit down, let me tell you, son.
I hate to know what you would do. Well, first I get some robots, give them a machine gun, and just let them go fucking crazy.
Here there be dragons.
Yeah. So you were about to get onto your rating.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I really feel like at this point we've almost exhausted our hatred for this film, although mine has I still have some vitriol left, don't worry. But honestly, I would define this film as like the dictionary definition of gratuitous pandering. I can't think of another film I've ever seen that fits those terms better than this film. I think it's absolute dog shit. I think this movie's a fuck you. I really do. I can't even believe I hated it.
Really saying wow? Because honestly, after everything y'all said, if he had given it anything other than a fuck you, I would have called bullshit on it.
I can't. It's insulting. Honestly, I thought the movie was insulting. I don't know what else to say about it. I hated it that much.
Yeah, I can't say that I hated it because I was sitting up there just amazed.
So like when we saw Southland
it was another
Tales,
Southland Tales.
I can't leave because I just can't fathom how bad this can be, but I have to be here to chronicle it.
Now, The Weeknd has yet to be told how this movie will do because I don't know. I think a lot of people are going to be drawn, especially these young kids. They just want to see something visual. So the studios and Zack Snyder, they might have the last laugh on this. But I'm looking at it, seeing it ahead of time, and the whole time I'm thinking, you fools, you threw money at this and you just keep throwing it. It doesn't stop. I'm like sitting there amazed. I'm actually having a good time looking at this and like, where will this go next? How will, that's one thing I can give this movie. When you don't know what the fuck is going on, you can't tell what's going to go, so it's not predictable. If there's one thing about this movie, hey, it's not predictable. So listen, I feel like I almost have to give it 2 ratings because personally, I'm looking at them and I'm saying this with a chuckle. This is bullshit. But at the same time, I do think there's going to be some young kids who will, when they turn 20 and go to college, and they're going to be at that party where they're going to say, wow, man, I really like Sucker Punch. And everybody's going to be like, shut the fuck up. And then they're going to have to go back and re-examine themselves. And yeah, they'll learn. But right now at a young age, I think that they will enjoy this. It's everything that a 13-year-old boy wants to see in a movie like this. So for them, I give this like the barest minimum of a rental. But yeah, there you go. I love me, hate me for it. I don't know. I do look at this and I'm thinking like there was one time when Zack Snyder got in front of his 7th grade class and told them, this is my report on World War II. So hot chicks wearing ass-hugger pants came in with machine guns and fought zombie Nazi. And the teacher comes up behind, shut the fuck up. Go sit your ass down, boy. I'm going to be rich one day, you see. I'm going to make this into a movie. And lo and behold, he has.
Wow.
I'm eager to see how this movie's going to perform. I really want to know because either Monday I'm going to be like screaming with joy. I'm going to be put a gun up to my throat, ready to just end it all because America there's no hope.
It won't matter either way because I tell you this right now, in the comments section is going to be filled with people eviscerating us who haven't even seen it yet.
You're the suckers. I'm going to punch you.
He knows what we're doing. It's the only way we can get out of here.
If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.